TikTok's facing a $250 billion decision that could reshape social media as we know it. The platform that changed how a billion people consume content might look completely different by spring.
Let me guess, this has something to do with that Supreme Court ruling everyone's talking about?
Exactly right. The court just upheld this massive law forcing ByteDance to sell off its U.S. operations by January 19th, 2025. We're talking about a platform that drives over $120 billion in consumer spending globally. And now it's basically on a fire sale timeline.
That's fascinating because the national security concerns have been brewing for years, but this feels like the real turning point.
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. The potential buyer list reads like a Silicon Valley fantasy draft. You've got Frank McCourt leading the people's bid for TikTok, which has already secured about $5 billion in commitments.
Hold up, what exactly makes it the people's bid?
So they're structuring it as this innovative ownership model where creators and users could potentially have equity stakes. But here's the twist. Perplexity AI, valued at around $520 million, jumped in yesterday with a merger proposal that could revolutionize how the platform uses artificial intelligence.
And I heard something about Elon Musk being in the mix too?
Oh yeah, and this is where it gets wild. Chinese officials are actually considering him as a potential buyer. Remember, Musk paid $44 billion for Twitter now. X and TikTok's US operations could be valued at upwards of $100 billion.
Those numbers are staggering. What about the other contenders?
Well, you've got MrBeast Jimmy Donaldson, who generated over $500 million in revenue last year from his content empire. Then there's Bobby Kotick, who just finished overseeing Activision Blizzard's $69 billion sale to Microsoft.
So what happens to the platform's massive user base during all this?
That's the billion-dollar question. TikTok has over 170 million US users, and creators on the platform generated an estimated $24 billion in earnings last year. President-elect Trump is planning a 90-day extension through executive order, which could prevent immediate disruption.
The economic impact of this is just mind-boggling when you break down the numbers.
And here's what's really fascinating. TikTok's algorithm, valued by some analysts at over $50 billion alone, processes over 1 billion views per day. Whoever buys it isn't just getting an app, they're getting one of the most sophisticated AI content engines ever built.
That really puts the Perplexity AI bid in perspective, doesn't it?
Exactly. Their conversational AI technology could potentially enhance TikTok's already powerful recommendation system. We're talking about combining two of the most advanced content discovery engines on the planet.
Looking at the bigger picture, what do you think this means for the future of social media ownership?
Well, this could set a precedent for how governments handle foreign-owned social platforms. We're seeing a shift where national security concerns are directly impacting tech ownership in ways we've never seen before. The platform that captures 40% of Gen Z's daily social media time could fundamentally change overnight.
Those are some serious implications for the future of digital media.
And that's really what makes this story so crucial. We're not just watching a corporate acquisition, we're witnessing a moment that could reshape how social media platforms are owned, operated, and regulated globally. The next few months could change everything about how we consume and create content online.
So I guess we'll all be watching this space very carefully.
Indeed. And while ByteDance weighs its options, millions of creators and billions of users are holding their breath, wondering what version of TikTok they'll be scrolling through this spring.